If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice, they told me that less is simple.
What's going on, GATV family? What's going on? It's Gravitating Away, and I'm back at it again. Now, there has been some characters in our community, dare I say the least, that move around and operate such as beast. I'm not one to really throw that around loosely, but man, we got to deal with this one right here. I don't even like giving this broad that much credence, but let's just jump right into it. Now, close your eyes for a second and picture an angry black woman stereotype. I don't subscribe to this myself, but you would be a fool to think that it doesn't exist. Now, while you were imagining the stereotype of an angry black woman, it only took an instant to visualize her, right? The image is ready-made, one hand on her hip, one finger pointing in your face, head and neck swiveling. You can probably hear her black English. She probably strikes you as intimidating. She's overly sensitive and mannish. She's easily to piss off and difficult to calm down. She's aggressive, irrational, too loud, and too much. Sometimes she can be quiet, and in that silence, very destructive. Now, the Cruella de Vil character, which is how I'm portraying Cynthia G to be, is one that Disney portrayed as a person who commits immoral acts to satisfy her mania, such as her dark aura and mystery, if she's even a human being. In her mad pursuits, Cruella is typically aided by her henchmen. In Cynthia's case, her bitter followers. Now, the interracial topic isn't necessarily a problem in my family or in my circles, but nonetheless, there are people on both sides of the aisle of men and women that makes it an issue. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's really mostly an issue for black women. But even in saying that, I have one question to ask you all, and I'm going to get to the clip of Cynthia Cruella G. What does Jamie Foxx's dating preference has to do with, the possibility of him succumbing to whatever it is that he's going through right now? Because they're keeping us all in the dark. I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. But nonetheless, would you believe me if I told you there could be such a stereotypical woman in our community that could wish a brother death simply for having his own dating preferences? Well, Cynthia G never fails to amaze anyone. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
I wanted to come on here and talk about Jamie Foxx, and you guys know that I talked about Jamie Foxx briefly in the last live stream that I did, and I've been sitting here as different reports come out contemplating whether or not to fully speak on this situation involving Jamie Foxx, who is
her voice is mad annoying, man. Could you imagine laying in bed next to that every day? I'm not even trying to make fun of the big forehead she tries to cover with that, ill-created bang of hers. You could tell she did it herself. I'm just saying, that voice is freaking annoying, man.
Preference is women of no color. He's dated mostly women of no color. His children are by women of no color, yet none of those women are by his side. And quite frankly, it doesn't seem like any of them have really had much to say since he has been in the hospital. And I was going to leave this alone because I don't really follow Jamie Foxx. I told you guys on my channel that a while back I did have the opportunity to go see him perform, which I will say that he is a great performer. I'll also say that I do understand people liking him based on his talent because he is very talented. He's a actor, comedian.
Disingenuous to say the least. When anytime someone starts off by trying to praise you a little bit, just a little bit, the BS is coming. It's right around the corner. Pay attention.
comedian and a singer, among many other things. He also has a book out, possibly more. I didn't really look into it to see, because I'm not going to go over Jamie Foxx's entire life history because it doesn't apply here. So what I mostly want to come on here and talk about is Jamie Foxx basically withering away in this hospital, and the fact that his preferences are nowhere to be found. And situations like this have to be pointed out.
Mind you, how does this broad knows who's on the bedside of Jamie Foxx while he's going through what he's going through? Who gave this, almost talked outside of myself, but who gave this broad the credentials to tell us who she or who she doesn't know that visits Jamie Foxx outside of our personal spaces in his hospital bedside? Now, mind you, she's basically speaking on, while Jamie is going through what he's going through, she doesn't see any of, quote unquote, the Beckys that he entertains, supporting him. How does this broad knows that? She's so blinded by her wrath of black men that she's willing to throw anything in the air just to have a conversation about it. And I'm telling you, this goes beyond content.
The only thing these dudes want money for is so that they can oppress. And telling you, you're better off in a system of white supremacy than you are under any system controlled by black men. I'm telling you. You are better off in a system of white supremacy than any system that black men control. You're better off.
This is how this bitch, fuck it, I gotta say, this is how this bitch really feels, man. This is how this bitch really feels. And I make no apologies about calling a beast like that a bitch. That's what you call your classic definition of a bitch. Let's keep going. Mind you, I'm not the biggest Jamie Foxx fan. I personally think he's arrogant, but he's a talent. He benefits the community in terms of young folks looking at him and seeing the plights that they could take. But Hollywood's another monster. Again, still yet again, what does that have to do with a man that could potentially be dying? Listen to this witch now.
Because we live in a black male worshiping culture where these bandits get to engage in the utmost form of treason. We know they loudly and aggressively promote the fact that they are with.
By the way, she states these bandits. See, even when most of us men are speaking about, black women in the community, we try our best to categorize it and preference it. We don't throw that on to the whole team out there. She literally looks at all black men like that, but she won't talk to y'all about the Pookie she was dating not too long ago. House getting raided, all type of messed up stuff. She ain't gonna talk to y'all about her, white zaddy sugar daddy providing her with funds, which she stood on it. Yet this is about Jamie Foxx, who potentially could be dying, dating white women.
With women of no color, and they can't just go sit quietly and date whoever they want to date. They have to be obnoxious about it. They have to wave it in your face, being on some nana boo boo, I got me a throwback, using these women as
wave it in your face just by being, meaning I could possibly be dating a white woman, right? Let's just say I'm in Jamie Foxx shoes. Personally, not my cup of tea, no disrespect. But let's say I'm in Jamie Foxx shoes and I'm just on a date and we're out and about. How is that throwing it in your face unless you're that glued into what I have going on? Cynthia G sits around and looks for issues. In her bitter world that she lives in, she's upset that a gentleman like Jamie Foxx hasn't come to her rescue. I don't care what type of motion she got going on in social media. Her personal life is upside down. And you can tell just by the heat coming and resonating from her voice. And if you ever, I dare you to ever pay attention to her. She looks like Medusa. You might turn to stone. But if you ever pay attention to her, you can literally sense what's coming out of her. It's a bitter woman that's upset, not by her own doings, but she puts it on to the responsibility of black men. Now she's going after Jamie Foxx, who's basically, near death, supposedly, where everyone can respect people's, personal struggles like that. with whatever qualms we got with Jamie Foxx, if you even have any, you know how to respect certain boundaries. Obviously, there's no hands off when it comes to Cynthia G.
Essentially as a weapon against black women, and that is not okay, because what they've been doing is telling you how much more supportive these women are, how much these women love them, saying ridiculously stupid nonsense like this.
We need to learn as black men that we have options. We got white women, Asian women, Chinese women, Mexican women, Arab women. We don't have no shortage.
I'm not trying to do that. Basically, she looked for anything she can use as fuel, and anyone that takes the time to look for a minuscule of an issue to make it a grander issue, you are a loser, you are a failure in life, and you need any excuse to push a narrative that nobody subscribes to. Unfortunately, Cynthia CRUELA G has to push the narrative that black men are inferior, black men are nothing, black men are Becky, chasing down the street. When here's the main issue. I'm not trying to give this woman too much credence, as I said in the start of this video. The biggest problem and I'll even include the black men that somewhat speaks on the issues of interracial dating, but as a whole, it's really black women that push this narrative. They make it seem like it's a whole gang load of brothers that's dating outside of their respective communities, the black community. Now, if you choose to do so, me personally, that's not my business. I don't get into all of that. I know what I'm about, and I stand on it, and I reflect on it in terms of when you see who my wife is, who my children is. Nonetheless, she makes it a issue as if all black men are out here chasing white women, Latin women, etc. Do you guys understand? For the most part, there are black men who are with black women in union. The average black men and women are going after one another. These women wants to put Holly weird on top of all of us. We don't live in that world, lady, you crazy bitch. We don't live in that world. I don't make no apologies again about calling her outside of her name. That's who she is. When you are rooting for the demise of Jamie Foxx, in whole, really the demise of all black men,
The only thing these dudes want money for is so that they can oppress. And telling you, you're better off in a system of white supremacy than you are under any system controlled by black men. I'm telling you. You are better off in a system of white supremacy than any system that black men control. You're better off.
I don't care about what I say, demeaning to you. As Tupac said, there's a black woman, then there's a black bitch. And she fits and foots the bill.
As you heard the bandit in there sitting up talking about how there's so many different women of other races who respect them, want to marry them, love them, and want to create children with them. Yet you have a high-profile black man here who is at his greatest time of need. He literally have children with his preferences and have been in long-term relationships with them. Blah. Yet in his greatest time of need, which would be the most important time to show support, they are nowhere to be found. So bandits.
Once again, bitch, how do you know who's by his bedside? How do you freaking know? You do not know. I do not understand this. This is becoming a problem because time and time again, this woman is saying detrimental shit like that, and she doesn't get checked by really you black women. I know there's enough brothers out there that stays checking this woman, because I want her out of this space, man. Because you're going to have young black women who are going through their own miserable failures, their own self-sabotage of their relationships, and they're going to come and put it on us black brothers who are just average working men and women, specifically average men out here just doing our thing. And when I say average, what I mean is those of us that are not in that Hollywood world. You are using the measuring stick based off of Hollywood. I dare you to go to any black community. You will see mostly black men and women together in unionship. But of course, you have a narrative to push.
Think that they get to just sit up and say stuff and demean and degrade black with his preferences. And I want us to...
I'm just going to be honest with y'all. This woman really goes into a whole diatribe on the black men out here. You should see her bitter followers who literally could care less if the brother was dying or not. And it's not about if he could care, if you even care that he's dying or not. It's them pushing the fact that, you know, it's almost like they're cheerleading his death. Now, I don't know about you. That seems like a sickness to me. Like, who hurt you, women? You love telling black men who hurt us. No, sis. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? My biggest problem, and I would like to conclude this because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Understand, some black women get angry with black men who are in interracial relationships for the same reason it happens in reverse. White men and white women get angry for different reasons. In my opinion, their anger seems to address disbelief that the oppressed and more desirable, you know, that inappropriate nappy hair and thick lips could be considered comparable to the idealized European-centric version of beauty. That they are somehow less for being subjected to a swipe left on the dating apps. The black anger, I believe, mainly comes from three places. You've sold out to your shared oppressors. You think you've made it, and now you're rewarded. Now you're rewarded with Becky as, you know, the one with the good hair. An internalized self-hatred that creates a sore spot that you poke whenever they see mixed race couples. I'm sure that there are other reasons that few black men and women continue to harbor angry, hurt feelings, you know, specifically in the issues of interracial relationships. These are merely the first few that comes to mind, but you can't make this, you know, something that is subjected to the entire population of black men and black women. When you're looking through the lens of Hollyweird, leave it there. Don't come back to us with whatever you're taking from that space that has operated, you know, in a certain pathway that hasn't been shifting for decades and decades. Now you want to come throw it on to us regular folks. I think that is false. I think something's wrong with this woman. And since you are openly welcoming Jamie Foxx's demise, I will cheerlead yours. Without a fear, without a doubt, I will cheerlead yours. You represent destruction to the black man, as if there aren't any other things operating for our demise. You contribute with your talking points, and all the bitter women that follow you, I dare you to look into their lives and realize they have self-sabotaged their relationships. They probably have 3-4 baby daddies of the Pookie and Ray Ray, I'll say, descendants. This is a woman that women follow. We don't need any more brothers trying to check this bitch. This broad got enough issues going on where we have a lot of brothers, you know, giving their talking points about her, where I feel like it should be black women checking bullshit like that. Don't you got black sons? Don't you got black fathers, black brothers? No more excuses. There's no way in hell you guys should let this woman get a pass for the crap that she pushes out here, man. That's sick to me. This brother could be dying, and her henchmen, in her case, henchwomen, are pushing for his death. Why? Because he dares to choose to date Becky's of the world. That's his preference. I never viewed Jamie Foxx as a hero necessarily. I never viewed Jamie Foxx as the representative for black men. He's a black actor and in the world of Hollyweird. Let's leave that shit there. That's all I'm saying. Gravitating away, not trying to spend too much time on this. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any type of understanding of what I'm saying, push this, man. Holla, man. I'm out, man. I swear to y'all, I can't do it, man. Cynthia fucking G, yo. This is a CRUELA bitch, man. She's a Disney character if I ever saw one. I'm telling you.
If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I saw that out in the Renault Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice. They told me that less is simple.